As Nigerians prepare for the holiday season, air travel costs have become a major talking point. A lot of passengers are faced with significantly higher fares on popular routes, while less trafficked routes remain somewhat affordable. This disparity is raising questions about airline pricing models, seasonal demand, operational costs, and regulatory oversight, all of which directly impact travelers' budgets and access to safe, reliable air transport. So joining us now on this topic is Obiora Okonkwo, who is the chairman of United Nigeria Airlines. He will break down all of the factors behind this variation in airfares we've been seeing and explore why certain routes see steep price hikes during the festive season and actionable strategies to make air travel more affordable and predictable during peak travel periods. Welcome to Newsday, Mr. Okonkwo. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be with you.
Absolutely. So, I'll keep my first question simple. Why are flights so expensive right now, and when can we expect prices to come down, if at all?
Are they really that expensive?
Yes.
I'm sure definitely not for somebody like you. Yes, there have been a whole lot of concern about this, and the few tickets I've seen going around, the different social media platforms, I realized that some of them are tickets that were bought on the travel day at the last minute. And obviously, sometimes also some people compare, they put up a business or premium class ticket, and looking at the prices indicated there, talk about them as if they're economy ticket. As a matter of fact, in some other routes, you can still buy a ticket for 100,000 naira, 150,000 naira, 200,000 naira in a progressive pricing, which is actually the rule for the industry. So if you had bought your ticket earlier before now, obviously it has a stable price and affordable price. It's the same thing if you are going to London, America, wherever you are going to. So for those who had planned their summer next year, 2026, who had bought their ticket today, obviously they're not going to pay the same amount of money for somebody who buys his ticket on the same day of departure a week before, because these are computerized. You program the ticket in a progressive form. Maybe you have your lowest ticket end. That ticket, you have about 10%. Then you have the next ticket, 15%, and so on and so forth, until you get to your premium ticket, the prime, the most expensive ticket, which usually come as the last batch of the sales. So typically for those who buy their tickets late, they pay premium. Then on particular routes, there are routes that have a peculiar travel pattern during the yearly trip. That's this Christmas period, especially like the Southeast. We're already beginning to witness it from this 15th of December. Before now, you could take a 70, 80, 90% pax load to any of the airports in the Southeast or River State, and you come back again with a corresponding 50, 60, 70, 80%. That helps you to balance the cost, because the expenses and the cost of operations on those destinations are the same going and are the same coming back. So, but what we do have during this period is that we could fly with 180 pax load aircraft, let's say to Enugu, Anambra, Owerri, Imo, or Port Harcourt. And I can tell you that aircraft comes back to Abuja or Lagos with just simply 5, 10 passengers. So for you to be able to make that trip and return and do other destinations, somebody has to pay the cost. It's not going to be just the airline or all that. But before then, so you have to build in those costs, operational costs. And then it's also important to know that within this operational cost, 70 to 80% of them are already costs that go to taxations and other fees that go to other agencies. Like we have said, airline operators are just cash cow for the aviation ecosystem. All right, for NAMA, for NCA, even for ground handling, for in-flight service, the whole ecosystem. If you are served in the aircraft, it was provided by another provider, another vendor. The fueler in that thing, fueling alone is costing us over 40 to 50% of the cost. So any amount of operational costs you have to build in one destination flight in Nigeria, keep aside 50 to 40% for aviation fuel. And all these things are collected, and then the operator spreads. Whatever little that is left from your margin is where you have to provide maintenance, you have to pay salaries, and ensure that your services are top-notch and we are safe. And again, this costs us extra, more than it costs any other person in any part of the world because of the poor infrastructure we have in Nigeria. So I really think that it is our own interest. If you recall, for over 3 months, I've been speaking out as the spokesperson of Airline Operators of Nigeria and calling on all that are concerned to do something. Otherwise, the air tickets will not be affordable to Nigerians. And when it's not affordable to Nigerians and we don't have passengers to fly, we're out of business. So it's not to our own interest for it not to be affordable. And then we have also started shouting about the danger if we go into the 1st of January when they're going to activate the new tax law. If that new tax law comes into place, what we're even seeing today is a charge play because he's going to triple the cost of air travel. And I know that when he does, most people will not afford it. And when most people do not afford it, we won't have passengers. And when we don't have passengers, we're out of business. And when we're out of business, a lot of people lose their jobs. So that's why we've been saying for a very long time, something must have to be done. But obviously, at the end of the day, I can understand our esteemed passengers. They take it out on the operators. So that's just really, we sympathize with this situation. We're uncomfortable with it. We are also hoping and praying that something must be done. But for the cost of the air ticket, 60 to 80% of them are prices that go to other people.
Of course.
The rest of 10, 15 that is left is what we use to manage our own other expenses. If you are paying for office rent, if you are doing Christmas bonus, every other thing you do. And at the end of the day, the airline is left with just little margin. As a matter of fact, the profit margin in airline is less than 5%.
All right.
If you check the IATA road, the information is for public. It's just very minimal. But the issue is that it compensates with the volume. It's a high volume business, so if you have a small margin, you can hang on there. So the lower the price, the better for us.
Fantastic. Mr. Okonkwo, you've done an excellent job in breaking down the reasoning or the logic behind these high prices, from the cost of aviation fuel to maintenance. And you also touched on the very crucial aspect of when it comes to poor infrastructure. But what has also alarmed me, and I'm sure more Nigerians, is that you also didn't sound like things are going to get any better when you mentioned that when the tax laws come into play by next year, which is just a few weeks away, that it's going to be child's play, that airfares might even triple. So are things going to get any better based on all these realities that you factored in your own capacity and those that you speak for? Are there any ways that you can help to make things less burdensome for everyday Nigerians, especially when you consider that we have few alternatives with the high level of insecurity for those who might choose to embark on road travel?
Yes, honestly, as much as we wish to do so, it would have been a great pleasure to do so, but it would not be done at our own demise, because when we are not able to cover some cost of operations, we will not exist. And when or either, then it might lead to risk, safety risk. That is a no-no for us. The only way it can be made better today and tomorrow is when government listens to our call and reduce the multiple taxes that are imposed on air tickets and air travelers. Because every tax government introduces today is automatically passed on to the passenger. It shouldn't be me. You have to build it in the cost of operations. And we have been saying that travel, especially air travel, is no more a thing of the elite. It's for everyone. Yes, some people will say the roads are bad. I can understand that the roads are not safe. That's okay. But I still maintain that even in the countries with the best roads, with the best security, Europe, America, air travel remains a very critical aspect of a means of transportation. So even if you have all the roads fixed, people must have to travel because it's a catalyst to economic growth. It's an enabler to every other thing you are doing. So the quicker way is government should come to our aid. Government is in a position to do this. They are supposed to reduce all those taxes. If you reduce all those taxes, they are supposed even not to think of taxes that will take place in January. You know, it's a long time we stopped paying VAT on tickets. It's not charged. As a matter of fact, if you take a typical ticket, and if you don't buy from agent, I encourage passengers to look at them. These costs are breakdown. Even the issue of tax. They still tax us on aviation surcharge, certain percentage. So if these taxes are removed, if these levies are removed, then obviously it will affect the ticket price. And then when it affects the ticket price, we will pass it on to the passengers. And you see, we've been raising this a lot. If I check the front page papers for the last 3 months, all the national papers, I was crying that aviation is in a very big risk with the cost of operation and the cost of ticket. We feel the passengers, we feel their pain. I'm also a passenger when I fly. I understand what it is. So I really think that we have been engaging on this matter, and for this reason, practically the whole of last week, we've been engaging the National Assembly because good aspect of this change has to come with some legislative action. And we also have meetings lined up this week. We're doing everything we can do behind the scene with all those that are concerned to lift these taxes, to reduce these costs. As a matter of fact, the rate and the number of taxes that are paid in Nigeria on every ticket of travel is more than any other country in the world. More than. I tell you, for instance, if you are going to Ghana, you might say that Ghana is just 45 minutes from Lagos and 1 hour, 15 minutes from Abuja. But before you sit in on that plane and before you pay for ticket, $200 already had gone to taxes. $200, that's over about 300,000 naira. You would think it's our money when you pay 1 million or 2 million. And the way this thing works is that some people will buy their ticket cheap, some will buy their ticket middle, some will buy their ticket high. And you blend it and work out an average. When you work out this average, when you make this costing, it also applies to even empty seats on your aircraft. So at the end of the day, from our records, if you pay 400,000 naira or 300,000 naira, from our records, the average price per seat, because you must have to work per seat, that's the economy of the business, might just be coming to 140,000 naira. So that's really what it is. And on that ticket you sit, if you had bought 400,000, you might be sitting next to somebody who bought it 100,000 naira. And there could be empty seats. These empty seats are calculated. So at the end of the day, you cry for the ticket you have, we sympathize with you, but in our records, our yield, what is called yield per seat, might be just 100,000 or 150,000.
Yes.
And again, for the one direction ticket, to tell you what we mean, if you sit on this aircraft going to Anambra, Were, or Enugu in the next 1 week, you will see, I encourage you to make a trip to the airport.
We will, once you buy our tickets.
An aircraft comes in with full passenger. You can sit on that aircraft back to Abuja with less than 100,000 naira. The same aircraft that you may have paid 300,000 naira.
Mr. Obiora,
passengers. Yeah.
Mr. Obiora Okonkwo, this has been a very insightful discussion. I apologize for having to cut this short, but we do have to go. But thank you so much for explaining all this to us and also promising to buy us tickets on national television.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
I will try to buy you.
Please do. Thank you so much for joining us here on Newsday.
Yeah,
Thank you.